Yo, it's Guido coming at you with the Tactics Talk, guys. Welcome back and thanks for tuning in to this episode of World of Tanks. And we have a pilgrim of many pilgrims, so many pilgrims, all of the pilgrims. He is in Clan GFLC, my clan, and he's getting better at the game. I've been working with him for a while, watching him improve, and he sent me a really interesting replay. And here's what it said on his note. Well, the subject was, I can't get to the end game, help. Okay, that is something we all try to do. You want to preserve your vote. You want to be at the end of the game so you can help win, right? You're still involved and active. You get a vote. That's what you strive for. Then he says, I thought I did everything right in this one, but it's becoming a normal, gotta click on it, normal thing for me. How do I get to the end to survive? This is a typical Super Conqueror battle with lots of hold down action, however, question mark. Do you mind looking at it? And I did. And it's got some really interesting points in it, and I want to go over this because it's a great question to ask. How do I get to the end game? How do I preserve my vote? What are the things I can do? And with all of my replay analysis, what you want to do is back up to the very beginning of the game and look at everything, even to include setup and such things as that. So we'll try to do it. Now, I don't know what equipment he has. I'm going to assume it's a gun rammer. I'm going to assume it's a vert stab and either vents or optics. Either one, maybe a GLD potentially as well. Those are all possibilities. He is running food. I'm going to assume that he's got either firefighting trained for his guys or he's using a directive. So that's his setup. He's got 16 APCR, 4 HE. As soon as I can get my mouse to go the right place. 4 HE and 20 AP, and that seems reasonable to me. In his Tier 10 British Super Conqueror heavy tank. Loaded into Westfield. That's the next thing you do. All right, you look at the load in, you look where you are, what the enemy team is. There's a Kron, a 277, another Super, and some big TDs, some heavy hitters, a Gorilla A, and a JPZ, even the 704. There's a few more heavily armored tanks like a E75, 257, ST1. So there's going to be a lot of beef up top, and there's one artillery, also something you want to note and take into account when you are assessing. So I think he's going to the right spot up here in the northwest. He wants to fight up here, hold down, because that's what this thing is really good at. So we're going to take a look at how this fight goes and see if there were some things here he could have done to help himself out. Because in order to get to the end of the game, you want to preserve as many hit points as you can while doing damage. Okay? It's not enough to just sit in the back and preserve hit points and go, hey, I was alive at the end of the game. Everyone else was dead and I was alive. Well, if your team loses and you don't have much damage, then that's useless. All right? So you want to do your damage. You want to be where the major fight is. And you want to preserve your hit points and your vote. So he's in the right place. He's going to start working on damage. So he comes up here. Now notice he's coming up. We'll take that shot there. And he's kind of zooming out, and he's looking at where he's going. And I'm going to not say what I want to say, but I want you guys to watch this for a minute. How he is working his camera. All right, camera work is important in this game. So we'll come up here. We're kind of looking. All right, we see some guys over here. All right, so what's going? Oh, maybe some shots. No, I guess not. Boom. The 277 just came up and over. All right. Camera technique and camera work, Pilgrim, and for everybody else. When you are coming up looking for a shot, make sure you're zooming out on it and looking. All right. You can right-click and hold your gun in the direction you want to shoot, but scan your camera, especially in a fight like this where there are multiple areas you can be shot from. If you come high enough, you can be shot from here. You can be shot from back here. Up on the sniper nest, you can be shot by maybe a really good hold down guy coming here. We'll get that in a minute. Or even guys coming up here. And when you're working this part of this ridge, you have to know that tanks will come up on this part of it and look for shots into your side. And that's exactly what just happened to Pilgrim. So he is down, what, 430 hit points. That's 430 hit points he doesn't have for end game. All right? And he's done 416. So a bit of a trade there. 277. Now we're kind of looking around. Then we see this do a really nice job outgun depressing a Kranwagen noggin. Very nicely done. So he kind of baits this guy. Looks like he's trying to use his turret. There he goes. It looks like the Kron's trying to get into that hatch on the top of the turret. He did look, so he can be trained, right? He was kind of going, all right, as I do this, but you're fighting two at once, and that's not easy to do. All right, it's a cross check. So that's the next thing. When I say scav pattern or camera technique, it's also a cross check. Where's that threat? What's this threat doing? What's going on over here? Maybe even behind me, but right now probably secure. One reason I check behind me a lot of times is just to see who I still have alive back there. If I lose the Gorilla A and the JPZ, I know they're going to be much more prone to come up and over and threaten me, as just one example, which is why every now and again I do give a check 6 with my camera work. If you notice any of my replays or when I stream, my camera's going all over the daggum place. All right, so we're going to come up here. So we did a nice job kind of making the Kron take his shot, so that gives us a kind of opportunity depending on where their TDs are. Now, the grill has not been spotted, but the JPZ is up forward, so I'm not worried about him thumping me from back here, but I can still be thumped by the 704 or the Grill A. The 277's buggered off and gone into the town. The 704, guess what? He's not going to shoot me. He's in town. So it looks like I have a little bit of a respite from this Kron that I can come over here and start working on these guys. And this is exactly what he does. So he comes up here and he goes, boom, but oh, geez Louise, we forgot about the Super Conqueror. So we get thumped again coming up over top, and now we're down another 380 from the Super Conqueror. And we're going to back off. So camera technique wise, as I came up looking for that shot, I might have come up looking this way a couple pokes before I came up and over that way, just to make sure maybe the Grill A doesn't take a shot, or I find out what in the heck is in this bowl down here. All right, and the Super Conqueror, I believe, was spotted a while ago, so we should have known that he was there. So we learned that lesson and we kind of changed position. And this is not a bad idea. If we look over here, we know we got a WZ kind of keeping him honest. The Super can be a problem though, because if he comes up, he will have shots in my side. But I still, and that's another reason why I would check 6. Okay, good. These two are still back up there. If he does poke, he's going to get punished. So that should give me some freedom of movement. So I'm going to come up over here and I find the ST1, put a little nice shot into that guy. I like it. He just did it. He just checked, right? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Well, he got fooled twice, and now he's checking over here. But if he'd been doing that from the beginning, he might have saved himself 1 or 2 of those shots. So he's going to come in here, and we're about to get to another critical point here. He's doing a nice job. Look at this, checking. Very nice. That's exactly right. Now, be careful about your timing here, Pilgrim, because what you did is you turned your turret. All right, and I don't think you're locking. I'd have locked my turret forward and taken a quick look. If you wanted the turret to go there, I would have backed out of this position, because guess what you're doing? You are now exposing the side of your turret, and you're moving forward. I'm thinking, don't do that. And my gosh, you got away with it, right? You really did. The side of your turret came first, and if one of those guys had a reload and was ready, that would have sucked. Let's see how he did. Look, he's checking. Very nice, very nice. Now, we do have a problem behind us, looks like, because the 110E5's kind of off the backside. The WZ has run away. That's another reason why I check my buddies and what they're doing. Well, hell, I had a WZ-111 help me there for a while, but he's buggered off and gone into the town. So it looks like my team's making a bit of a push down into the town to kind of counter theirs. And I look back and go, well, the grill's almost done, and I have a JPZ who's not really in a great position, actually, but at least he's back there. So be careful about coming forward when you shouldn't. So we're going to come up here. We're going to take a little poke, nicely done at the E75. We look over here, and then, okay, good deal. We're going to look for a shot. Sneak one into the 257, and we check again. Very nice. And we look there, and oh no. There was a huge clue about what was about to happen over there to your right or in front of you. You're doing a nice job doing this, checking over here, okay? Nice cross check, but you missed a critical part of the cross check. Here, let's just let you know what it is here. We come forward with our side turret, and hey, oh, geez, what's this guy? We just absolutely get shellacked for 1,000 hit points, right? 1,000 hit points. So we've lost, what, 2,000, slightly under 2,000 hit points, 1,800 hit points, to 3 shots we probably didn't need to take. 3 shots we probably didn't need to take, and that would have, no kidding, given you much more vote later on. So let's see what happens there, because we're going to get much more careful about what we've done. We can't, oh, there we go. We fixed the ammo rack. I think that's a good idea. Let's give you the camera shot here. Nice job there. And we got to be careful now. We got to be really careful. So there he goes. He's turning back around. We actually sneak a shot up under there. Now, I don't know why you went to HE. If that was a mistake, you're going to have to let us know. I feel like maybe you're trying to fix something, because now we're going to shoot into that guy's front matlet and do nothing. And then we're going to come over here with another HE round, and we get into his side, and we get a whole 204 out of that one. And we're kind of working on the ST1, but I think I'd be going for the AP. Now, you get a little bit clever here. You take another shot that misses. And now we're into the regular AP, and I like that right there. In fact, I don't know. Is that actually... you might just be able to get into his lower plate right there. And I think we try it. Unfortunately, we get Artied right before it happens, and so we take that shot and we eat 190 from Artie. And the ST1 is locked down, trying to hide behind everything. We take a shot there and it goes a little high. So this was a bit of a lull in the fight. I think I would have found something else to do. Or a different angle. You're just sort of sitting here. You just got hit by Artie. There's only one, thank goodness, but he's probably waiting to reload on you. I'd just back out of that and go find something else to do. You could back out of it, maybe come up over top and see if there's anything further down the bottom, like maybe that super is still around here somewhere. Potentially. Get a shot on him. But we really just kind of sit here dueling with this ST1. Kind of go after his hatch again, but we bounce. Probably needed APCR really to have a better chance of that. So we back out of this. And because we don't have a lot of hit points, we don't have a lot of options here, right? We really have to kind of hide back here. I'm looking for a shot. Nope, there you go. There's his turret. It's over on the other side. This one sort of befuddled me just a little bit. Why you would have break out into the open. Right there. I'm very surprised he wasn't able to side scrape backwards and maybe get a shot into you right there. And maybe he was trying. Looks like you tracked him and stopped him from doing it. But that move forward, very dangerous. And I thought you kind of got away with one right there. Nice job right there. You get a shot right into him. Looks like it might even went in right into his... I can't tell if that's his upper plate or what. And we take him down. And holy cow, the Sturb has been back there. Has he been there the whole time? I don't know. Maybe you didn't come around the corner enough to actually give him a shot on you. See, there's that Artie. I told you he was watching you. Artie gets another thump on you, and we're down to 118 hit points. So like I said, nice positioning. You went to the right spot. You played to the tank's strengths. You gave up 3 shots that you didn't need to give up. And really, case is kind of closed right there as to why, at least in this game, you did not get to the end game. Shot selection was pretty good. Positioning was pretty good. The micro positioning within the position cost you. And your cross check being a bit slow, non-existent until the first 2 hit you, and then a good cross check, and then holy cow, just missing one of the most critical pieces of info on the cross check that the JPZ had turned towards you. And that's easy to do. Everybody does it. You make that inopportune push or move, and you don't realize that one of the big guns has pointed towards you. But that's probably one of the ones I would have prioritized on my cross-check, is to pay attention to what he's doing. Any turrets that seem to be pointed at you and any great big guns are the things you really want to know before you come poking out around corners or up over hold down positions. And we're going to have a little bit more of a problem right here, kind of along the same way. Okay, so you asked me how I keep dying at the end of the game. How do I stay alive? What did I do wrong here? Well, let's look at this. Okay, great. We're down to 118 hit points. That's a bummer. But how do we stay alive in this last little part? Because this game's not won yet. Enemy team's not in great position, but it isn't won yet. And this 430U is absolutely wrecking people. And then we've got a 430 down there as well. So we come around here, and I think this is a good idea. I like how you use this ground right here. This is exactly right. But look at this. We get fixated on that red guy. And holy cow, we're lucky. Because that red guy, we've completely exposed ourselves to him. So as soon as I'm going to actually back this up. Go ahead and get going down here. So yes, that's the guy you want to shoot. You want to help your guys. We're coming around here. You're not spotted. That's a good thing. But with the accuracy of guns at tier 9 and 10 and the speed at which they can zoom in, you got to be very careful. So as you come around here and start to zoom in, I saw that red guy immediately right there, and I went, ooh, yeah, he's going to just shift over and come at this guy, and you just go boop, right about. As soon as I get my zoom to work, I hate it when it does that. Right about there, just stop, maybe even a little bit more, and start working on that T10 right there, taking that guy down. But we come all the way this way, oh boy, and we get a bounce, and we're very lucky the T10 did not kill us. I think he's looking at you. Woo! And he gets a big hit, and you're able to kill him off. He was definitely looking to kill you. All right, so that was okay. I think what would have been better, though, is if you'd have turned left and put your hull up on this hill with this gun depression, and it would only be your turret coming up and over. Because the way you're doing it is you are exposing the side of your tank. All you have to do is shift your front. First of all, your front armor is better. All right, even the whole armor is better. And I think based on where you are, look at this. You could have come up to this ledge right here and just really started punishing this 430. There we go. So we get the 430U. Now the 430's down there. And he didn't like that, so he's kind of trying to figure out how to get you. And you come down way out in the open. Oh my gosh, we get lucky. That's, oh, get away, back, back, back. Too much. So had you been, I'm going to wait this explosion to go away. Had you been further, and I may have even been further back up here, just coming up over this little ridge area and just punishing that guy, and all he would have been seeing is turret. But what you did is you gave him side of the tank right there. So just a little bit of an error. A great position as far as the general area, incorrect micro position as far as minimizing your exposure. All right, and then again, it's cross-check, it's camera technique, and then a little bit of armor technique as far as where the tank is. So even, let's say you had stopped even one of those 3 shots from hitting you, you'd have taken that 430 shot and you'd have had another vote after that, right? You'd have been still in the game. Take all 3 of those shots away, which could have easily been done in that case, and still do the same amount of damage you did, 5,022, more than likely, you could probably have most of your hit points right here and be able to just kind of push in and take these guys down, or at least be the big damage soak, hit point soak. As it was a great game. 5,022, 1,520. I believe you end up winning this with 2 kills. But I think the answer really, it's an interesting match, and the answer to, you know, how do I get to the end of the game, how do I stay alive, starts at the beginning. And then every move towards that. And every time you lose hit points in this game, ask yourself why. Because that's your major problem with getting to the end of the game. As long as you're not going to the red line and sitting. If you're going to the red line and sitting, and just to say you're at the end of the game, that has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. But if you're actually actively playing, going to the important spots, every time you lose hit points, look at it and go, okay, did I need to? What was the mistake I made? Did I know I was going to take the hit, but it was worth it because of what I got out of it? All those questions should go into it. And if there is a way that you could have done it without taking the hit point damage back, then that's what you want to try to do and work on. All right, man, thanks for sending. I thought that was a great one there for cross-check, for camera technique, for fighting more than one enemy, and talking about how to get to the end game, because that's probably one of the biggest things that the players that come to me and ask for help are looking for. Even if they don't know to ask that question, what they're really looking for when they say, hey, how do I do better? How do I do more damage? They're really asking, how do I last longer in the game? What are the things that keep me alive longer while also being effective? And that's probably the biggest thing in this game to being good. Those who last longer do more damage. All right, guys, that's all I've got. Thanks for tuning in. I do appreciate it. Keep your heads on a swivel. Keep your head low. Make sure you're hunkering down if you've been asked to. And that's all I've got. We will see ya.